Hi everyone, it's Gods and Charmants here. Now I've had quite a few requests through the website recently saying can I create a blog specifically to talk about my collection of tarot and oracle cards, and I do get a lot of questions via Facebook and the website about tarot and oracle. I do read both tarot and oracle through the website, and people do know I have quite a few decks, and I have ones that are not necessarily the traditional decks of tarot cards because they don't really speak to me very much. It's just not my thing. So I thought that I would do a video series just taking a look at some of my decks. Now I thought I would start with the Goddess Oracle. The reason for that being is I don't class it as an oracle in the same way that there are the Doreen Virtue oracle cards, which in my opinion are true oracle cards, and these are obviously not a tarot deck, but they are really something in the middle that I find quite special, and everyone I've introduced them to has loved them and gone on to buy a set of them. So I thought, what a great place to start the series with. So this is their box, which in itself is gorgeous. It is sturdy, a nice sturdy box, decorated all the way around. So it would look lovely on a shelf. I mean, imagine that on a shelf, and that's the bit that's pointing out. You can even have it the other way around so you know exactly what deck it is, and it still looks gorgeous. So this box is really nice and sturdy. If you are someone that likes to keep their decks in the boxes they come in rather than in a tarot bag or a silk or a scarf wrap, then this is a great box for that, because inside again is very sturdy. Your deck comes in the base, your book on the top. This would be easy to travel with as well because it would keep them safe and secure, stop any edges getting banged up. So a really good quality box, which I think is important, because the one thing I am noticing with the more decks that are coming out is we are getting lower and lower quality packaging, and in some cases cardstock. So it's important to point that one out. So the deck itself is 52 cards. You get the full guidebook with this as well. It's not a little paper book and then you have to go and buy another book separately. You do get the full guidebook with these. So it's a set of 52 cards. This is the back, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, to me, that just speaks of divination, sitting down in candlelight with your cards, a gorgeous velvet or a silk to put your cards on, some crystals around. It really gets you into that mind frame to read your cards. So yeah, I really love that image. Now with the cards, obviously they are each goddesses. So you will have the goddess image at the top, the name of the goddess, and then a key word to do with that card. Now the images are very detailed. If you are an intuitive reader, and I do like to read intuitively, then you could forget the guidebook with this all together and completely read intuitively off these cards. They really do lend themselves to that. On the other hand, if you are new to reading cards, then you do have the guidebook there. You do have the key phrase there to make sure you're on the right path. And you also have the goddess's name. So if you're new to goddess work, then these can also be a great teaching tool, because the guidebook that comes with these is very different from many other tarot and oracle books, which we will have a look at in a minute. So that's Hestia of Hearth and Home. Then, I mean, look at this imagery. It's really rich. Absolutely gorgeous. I sometimes use these, pull my card for the day, and then they go onto my altar. Really, you can use them during ritual. They really lend themselves to that as well. But look at the detail. in these pictures. I mean, absolutely, the artwork on these I really feel is stunning. And these cards are a good few years old now. I mean, the card stock on these is really good quality. It is not flimsy. It's not the thickest of all my decks, but it is up there with good quality. It's not uber bendy. You can't accidentally turn a corner or bend a corner over while you're shuffling. It is a good quality cardstock. So we've got Sedna in the victim card. I mean, there's just so much there you can intuitively read into. I mean, the beautiful colours, the beautiful imagery, the expression on her face. It's just amazing. Kuan Yin. I mean, I must say, I really do think these have some of the best goddess artwork of any of the goddess tarot and oracle decks that I have. I mean, look at that Isis. Just stunning. Now that is an image. I mean, look at that artwork. I mean, that is just speaking to me right now. You straight away get pulled in with these cards. The faces on these goddesses, they're not expressionless, you know, flat faces. They have dimension to them and depth to them. Look at that. And I must say, I have done readings of all kinds with these cards and have not been limited with them. You know how some decks you feel are more for maybe like romance readings, or if you're dealing with an issue of health or career, and they just have ways that they lend themselves. This deck just speaks, and you know, whatever is a good everyday deck, I feel, and you can really get deep with some of these cards. So that's the ones I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you the whole deck because I get a little frustrated with videos that do show the whole deck, because I think, you know, you want to discover yourself. If you choose to get this deck, you want to get them home and you want to open them and be surprised by some of the cards. So it's nice to get a video where you can peek in but not have all of the surprises taken away. So now onto the guidebook, which is 188 pages, this guidebook, and it is a guidebook with a difference. And I love this guidebook. Like I say, normally I put the guidebooks to the side and I'm like, I'll go intuitively with this, but this one, it's just amazing. So here is your contents page, where you've got your introduction, visiting the oracle, using the goddess oracle, using it during ritual, invoking the oracle, the spreads for the oracle, and then we go into the goddesses and the cards. So here's your information at the front. You've got an introduction here. As we go in, there's a lot to read before you even get started. What I like about the spreads in here as well is they've actually used the cards, which, I mean, they've altered them slightly, like they're not obviously in colour and stuff like that, and they've made the writing bigger, but often you just get a blank 1, 2, 3, but it feels like a lot of extra effort has gone in to creating this book. You get numerous spreads. Then we move on to the cards. Now here's where we come with something a little bit different. The light, I tell you, the weather here in the UK is dreadful. So trying to get somewhere where there's light, 1 minute there's light and the next there's not. So for example, let's take a look at Bast. So you've got the image of the card in black and white. You then get a poem about Bast and to really get you into the place of working with Bast and understanding the message of the card. Then we go on to the mythology of Bast. Every single card has the pronunciation next to the name of the goddess. So if you are new to that goddess, working with that goddess, you can learn how to say the name correctly if you want to then go on to use ritual invoking that goddess. Then we go on to the meaning of the card. Then the ritual suggestion. Now, it's not just a tiny little bit. I mean, look at that. That's 2 pages nearly, like 1.5 pages of ritual with Bast. Goes on to the next page slightly as well. And you have these rituals. It's the same format for every single card. So you've got your poem or creative writing, your mythology. You've got your meaning of the card. Then again, we come over and this is all ritual to do with that card and that goddess, which is really, I find, so helpful because these rituals, they really fit with the card. So for example, let me grab a card in here. Where is Sekhmet? Where are you? Sekhmet's going to hide now. I know she is. I know you're in here. She is. So the Sekhmet card. Now as you can see, her words at the bottom are anger and rage. Then in the book, we've got her mythology. We've got the meaning of the card, obviously her poem, inspiration, writing, and then a ritual which can guide you through getting in touch with your own anger and rage and letting go of it. Some of the rituals are meditations. Some of them are more ritual-esque. It really depends on the goddess and the subject matter of the card. So you're kind of getting 2 things in one with this deck. Yes, you're getting this absolutely amazing oracle deck, but you're also getting a workbook, something to guide you through working with different goddesses, working on different levels of your own spirituality to address what is going on. Because often we might do a reading and it could be you have lost someone, a loved one, and you're doing a reading on how can you best cope with that, how can you move forward at this time. And the cards come up and they're telling you what you need to do. But then you're like, okay, so the guidance is saying this is the process I'm going through and where I can go if I stay on this path moving forward. But what practical steps do I need to take? So then you have to go away and figure that out for yourself. And for a lot of people, it stops there. They take the advice of the tarot or the oracle reading that they've had, but they don't actually do anything with that reading, which to me is really interesting because so many people do pay for tarot and oracle readings, whether it be in person, whether they be online, or they invest in a deck themselves. They go out and they spend, anywhere might be from £10 up to as much as £60 on a deck of cards and the book. And then they sit down with their cards and they do their reading, and the advice is given that they're asking for, and they're looking at the bigger picture, and then they put the cards away and leave the room, and the reading may well have never happened. So this book gives you the extra tools you need to actually take the information from that reading and put it into practice in your life and say, right, okay, I have asked this. This is what's coming up for me. This feels intuitively right. I know this is the work that has to be done. Oh, wait. And here's how to actually go away and do the work to release that anger. Do the work to get inspiration. Do the work to let go of self-doubt. And there's a guide right here to help you as your starting point. You may start with this ritual or meditation that's in here, and then you know how to go deeper, you know how to go further if you need to, because you've been started on the practical journey. So it's a real, for me, this is, I don't know, it's a deck that stands out among a lot of others for me because of the practical aspect that really does come into it, and the way it helps you enhance your own spiritual practice on a completely new level that isn't there with a lot of decks, unless you are very, very experienced and you know how to go away and then put that in practice and write your own ritual and work on those things. So that is really my thoughts on the Goddess Oracle. Let's just have a look at Rhiannon while she's sitting here, because I absolutely love this card as well. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's just look at a few more. Who else have we got? Bridget. And we've got Hecate. And also at the back of this book, another thing it has, let me just get that up for you. In the back here, here we go. You have also got information in sort of an easy to look at form that tells you the goddess, again the key word of that goddess, and then the ritual suggestions and what their rituals are for each card. So, and also obviously their culture and country. So for example, if you want to do further research, or if you have got your oracle deck and you want to use it for the ritual side of things, because maybe you know that you need to do something to help you let go of anger, or you want to work with Ceridwen for, you know, certain things, this you can come back here and go, right, okay, what do I need? Okay, drumming your grief. That looks like a ritual that I could really do right now. And you can do the ritual without even the cards. So they go separately, they go together, they complement each other. Really great, easy to get deck that I really think works for everyone. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I will film some more for you. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And do come over and join me on Facebook at Goddess Enchantments, or you can visit my website. The link will be below. Blessed be everyone.